Good day to everyone throughout the world. The International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace was founded in February of 2016, has grown to have over 5,000 members of parliament that are affiliated, and we have come together across all continents, and it's developing a very significant influence. Speaker Jose D. Venecia and Congressman Dan Burton are our co-chairmen. We thank them for their leadership, and they have been asking that we would take an action step now. And that action step would be to further the cooperation among the parliaments. Our chairman, Dr. Walsh, has asked me to work directly with the IAPP in support of the co-chairman and help them to really establish that interparliamentarian relationships, and we need your help to do that. We will be convening IAPP webinars and discussion groups for every continent by continent, with Congressman Burton and Speaker D. Venecia, together with Dr. Walsh and myself, to get even closer to the members of parliament that are working in those various nations. We have representatives from almost every nation in the world, and so it's most significant. Congressman Burton has also felt that this can greatly complement the connection of the nations of the world, as leaders of the parliaments of the world are elected by the people. And because they're elected by the people, they have the voice of the people in their hearts, and they also are a little more free to be able to speak their own views and how they see a better world coming about. So we will look forward to meeting you on those webinars and Zoom calls, continent by continent. Our IAPP co-chairs are there throughout every continent and in many of the nations, and we are looking to work with them very carefully to develop this strong relationship with our co-chairs. One action step that Speaker D. Venecia and Congressman Burton have called for is what Congressman Burton just mentioned just now, and that is a special resolution that we'd like to see as many nations as possible co-sponsor a resolution or pass a resolution that will call for more cooperation to Parliament in this time of the pandemic. And what it specifically is calling for is that there would be a pandemic or a kind of a special communication system, almost like a early alert system, that if there's any information in any parliament of the world where we know that the virus is starting to manifest again or a new virus is breaking out, that will immediately be linked to every parliament. As the parliaments oversee their medical organizations and institutes, and they oversee so many aspects of the health system of their country under their heads of state and ministers. We believe that this communication will be extremely valuable, and it can help prevent a slow response. And therefore, the resolution calls for that interparliamentarian communication system that would be facilitated by IAPP. It also calls for a resource or a needs assessment for every nation, as even many nations are facing a very big threat from the virus now. Some nations are over the first period of threat, but many nations have great needs for health professionals, for ventilators, for PPE, the personal protective equipment. We'd like to do a needs assessment through the IAPP network so that we can bring that to the nations of the world, also in the parliaments of the world, and those nations who have a surplus of those kind of those medical equipment, that kind of medical equipment and other things, will be able to help send that to the nations of the world that need them the most. And then we are just also calling for ongoing cooperation of all the parliaments of the world through the parliamentarians. Your voice is very, very powerful, and I've seen it from Speaker De Venecia and Congressman Burton, who have both been outstanding leaders on the global stage as members of their own Congress and Parliament. So I want to thank you, Dr. Walsh, for the other panelists.